Jessica Scheidler, who is with LifeQuest Organ Recovery Services. And we have to say, you have to start off by telling us what that is.
All right, I have so much to say, so I'm going to talk very fast.
Can you all hear her? You guys, get up on those mics, panelists.
All right. So I'm with LifeQuest, and I'm a part of Donate Life Florida. And basically, I'm going to start off really broad, and then I'm going to come in and get more detailed. So we're a part of Donate Life America. They are the nonprofit for the nation that makes sure that everyone has access to hospitals, so in every single state. They're making sure that everyone has access, so when you go and get your driver's license, they'll ask you, do you want to be an organ donor? And they ask you very neutrally. They're never going to say, you have to do this, or like, why would you ever do it? And they're making sure that the education is the same. So if you're in California, you're here in Florida, you move to Georgia, you're getting the same education about organ donation. So that breaks down to each state. So we're a part of Donate Life Florida's team. What we do is we make sure that there's hospitals in our state. So if you get injured in Key West, you don't have to go to Jacksonville to get some sort of medical help. We make sure that our tax collectors' offices, since we don't have DMVs, we make sure that they're educated on what it means because they're the ones asking the question. And 95% of people register there at the driver's license offices. We also are making sure the education is going out to everyone in the state. So that breaks down into organ procurement organizations, and that's who I'm with. I'm with LifeQuest. We're Jacksonville, all through the Panhandle, down through Gainesville, Ocala. And what we do is we're the ones actually in the hospitals. We're in Shands, Memorial, Baptist, Mayo, all of them in that entire top part of the state. We're the ones that are actually helping with the surgeries. We're going in, we're doing the logistics of who gets, if an organ becomes available, we're making sure we find that perfect match. Who's getting this organ and it gets delivered to that person. So we're doing a lot of the logistics behind the scenes in the hospital. We're also going to all the tax collectors' offices. So I walk inside of Duval downtown, Mandarin, Neptune Beach, talking with all those individuals at the counter and doing the education out in the community, working with Shirley Brill, working with different community members, trying to get this information across. As an organ donor, you have the opportunity to save up to 8 lives. 2 kidneys, 2 lungs, liver, pancreas, heart, small intestine. Those are those big organs that you're able to donate. But you also can do a lot of tissue donation, which can enhance up to 75 lives. And then your cornea can enhance 2 lives. And that's not your eyeball, that's just that top lens of your eye. Right now in the United States, there's 106,000 people waiting for a transplant. The Jaguar Stadium, if it ever sold out, holds 67,000 people, so double it. Imagine. I'm a Jags fan, but I know what it looks like when you go to a game. So imagine 2 sold-out Jag stadiums worth of people that are sick that need a transplant, and that's what we're looking at. Here in Florida, there's about 5,000 people waiting for a transplant, and we are in such a huge hub because we're sitting next to the Mayo Clinic. That's our transplant hospital here. So to be an actual organ donor, there's a couple things that have to happen. You have to have some sort of traumatic brain injury. You have to be on life support. So many people think that I've got like a van out back and I'm ready to just kind of take organs. It doesn't work like that. Because you have to have that brain injury, because you have to be on that life support, you need to be in the hospital. There are so many individuals I hear on a regular basis that say, I would never be an organ donor because medical personnel, like what you guys are going to become and are, will never save my life. And that is a huge piece of the puzzle, that if you are going to see that I'm an organ donor on my license plate, you're just kind of going to let me die. So giving that education to people that that's not the case. But it doesn't work that way when you walk into a doctor's office or the hospital. Also, working with individuals and their families, talking to them what it looks like to be a donor, that you can still have an open casket, that there is no cost to the family to be a donor. But also educating the people in the community right here in Jacksonville, trying to explain to them that as an organ donor, you can save lives and there's no age limit. Unfortunately, newborn babies can be donors, and Florida broke the record last year for the oldest donor. He was 95. So basically what we're trying to get people to understand is that, there is not a big piece when it comes to religion. That gets asked a lot of times in the hospital. If I can be an organ donor based off of my religion. If it costs too much money, are you going to save their lives? Are you going to take care of them? And it's a huge factor in how doctors and nurses are talking to these individuals that have lost a loved one by an accident. Because most of the time, organ donor comes as a surprise. There's some sort of traumatic brain injury, and normally that's unexpected. So I can keep going all day. I have so much to say, but thank you guys very much.
Thank you very much. Okay, I would like the pop quiz time. How many people, by a show of hands, feel as though they're already receiving an education? I mean, did we not pick the best panelists to provide information to the community? I'm gonna answer that, we did.